Welcome to Knicks Home Court with your host. My name is Greg Armstrong. This is episode number 58. Knicks Home Court, episode 58, and the Knicks won their first game of the season. First of all, I think too much was made about the 0-3 start because it was only one game out of the 3 games they possibly had a chance to win, and probably, I can't even say they should have won. There's no such thing as should have won in the NBA. Especially like they had a 21-point lead on Detroit Pistons, right? But that was in the first half. First half, that's nothing. You know games you're supposed to win. You got a 20-point lead with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You should win that game. But a 20-point lead, them shits get erased in no time in the NBA. This is the NBA. You got to play 4 quarters in this game. So anyway, if you think about the 3 losses the Knicks have, one to Oklahoma City, who is arguably a championship contender. I say arguably. And another one against Boston, who arguably is a championship contender. Yeah, I know Gordon Hayward is hurt, but they're a good team. Let's just say that. Nobody expected the Knicks to be 3-0 coming out of that. Okay, so again, I do this podcast to talk people off the ledge sometimes, but I also do the podcast because there's so much bullshit out there. And especially when you listen to mainstream, they're going to feed you bullshit. Oh, the sky is falling after 3 fucking games. Right? So that's a little frustrating as a Knicks fan. And I know, being around basketball my entire life, it's an 82 game season, buddy. After 30 games, you can start worrying. And then I'm hearing, like I heard from so-called professionals, throw all the rookies in there. What's up with this youth movement? Well, there's a reason why I'm with Jeff Hornacek on this as far as throwing out all the rookies, just playing them over the veterans straight up. Because it's a confidence thing. You throw all the rookies to the fire, right? Veterans will get disgruntled. Okay, say forget about the veterans. We don't give a fuck about them. They're not going to be here. Fine. But what happens when some of those young players start to fail and start to lose confidence? Who do you have to put in the game? You have to put the veterans back in the game. So you start with the veterans, which is a sound thing that every single good coach and great coach does. Don't act like Hornacek is the only guy who will play his veterans. You start with the veterans. You allow the young players to earn their stripes through practice and through minutes in the game. You start the young players through practice, and then in garbage time, if you're getting blown out or blowing another team out, you put in a Damian Dotson, you put in another player, and gradually you get his feet wet. You get him comfortable. You will see the confidence grow within the player, and they're good enough, they will play. As you're starting to see Hernan Gomez. You're starting to see him play more, and people think, oh, just let him get out there. No, because guess what? Kyle O'Quinn is playing his ass off. Say what you want, but Kyle O'Quinn is balling. Tell me he's not. Tell me he's not playing well. He's not grabbing those rebounds and blocking mad shots. Tell me he's not doing that. So I'm supposed to sit him down. When I preach defense, I'm supposed to just sit him down. No. One thing I can say, if Hornacek is serious and stubborn about defense, and he's serious about this, I have no problem with that. I always preach that, the Knicks should, be a little more offensive because it's an offensive league. However, if you're going to stick to defense and you're going to have your team buying in, well, let me tell you about a young team. Expect the Knicks to get better at defense as the season goes on if they're buying into it. Especially a young team and young players can be molded. Because if you look at one team I always tell people to look at Utah Jazz. Utah lost Gordon Hayward, and guess what? I think they still might make the playoffs. Why? Because they got one of the top defenses in the NBA. And when you have that, in this date and time, you have a good chance. And I'm going to tell you why. But I'm going to get to offense in a second. I'm not going to do pluses and minuses. I'm trying to run through this as quick as I can. But I'll tell you this. Or I'll give you a couple of pluses and a few pluses, maybe a few minuses. But I'll tell you this. Let's just start now. Okay, plus. Plus was the Knicks' offense. You say, why is that a plus? When they play great defense, right? Understand that the offense helps the defense. They work hand in hand. Now, you can have a great defense and a terrible offense. All right, that's fine. But it's best when you have them working hand in hand. And what I mean is, a great offense helps a defense. Why? Because when you have a great offense or when you're scoring buckets, teams can't get in transition. They can't get in rhythm. They can't run. The Nets like to shoot a lot of threes out of fast breaks and transitions. So they had to start from half court every single time up. And one of the pluses I feel like about the Knicks is that they didn't crush the Nets with hot shooting. They crushed them with a sustained defensive and offensive execution effort. That is sustainable, folks. I'm not saying that's going to happen from now to... I'm not saying that's going to happen every game, but that is sustainable. What's not sustainable is shooting like 55% from three-point land or 60% for the game. That's not sustainable in the NBA. Keeping a team from scoring 84 points a game, like they scored, I think, 80-something points, that's not really sustainable. They're not going to be stopping teams like that every night. However, if you put the two together, if you execute on offense and you hustle on defense, again, what I always said, you make things hard for the team on defense. You make it hard for them to pass. You make it hard for them to cut. You make them take the ball out every time and not be able to run up the court and put you in mismatches. Damn, I can't say it. Mix matches. You know, that's what you do. So I'm impressed with that. And you know what? If Hornacek is going to be his own man and stick to his convictions, good for him. We can't sit here and say fire Hornacek and then when he does a good job of coaching, like big plus starting Jarrett Jack, when everybody was like, oh my God, why is Jarrett Jack playing? He started Jarrett Jack. And what did Jarrett Jack do? Get the team into the offense. Get the team flowing. You don't think that was a strong move? Starting Jarrett Jack, right? Making Baker inactive, right? And a DNP, coach's decision, not playing Sessions. Literally did not play him the entire game. That is coaching, folks. That takes balls to just sit people down like that. Just to, to make moves like that. Again, I still wish, I would like to see Courtney Lee come off the bench, and I would like to see Tim Hardaway slide over to the 3. But, other pluses. Kristaps, great bounce back game. He was very aggressive from the beginning. And as I told you, if he gets 20 to 20 shots, he's going to score 26. Shit, I said he's going to average between 24 and 26 points a game. I'm starting to think that, he might average about 28 points a game. But, I don't think so. But again, as long as he gets 20 to 25 shots a game, 20 to 24 shots a game, he's going to average 26 points a game. And that's a bad game if he scores 26 on 26 shots. You're not counting free throws and three-pointers. Come on, man. He's a star, and he's going to show that he's a star as long as he can handle the load. As long as he doesn't break down and his body can handle it. Okay, so he was a big plus last night. Another guy who was a big plus, Doug McDermott. It feels so... he's out to prove that, let's just say it. There's a little bit of... I don't know what I want to call it. Stereotyping when it comes to Doug McDermott. People look at him like he's just a three-point shooter. And they do that to white guys, They do that to white guys, Oh, white guy, he could just shoot. The guy is athletic. He's grabbing rebounds. He's running. He's decent. He might end up being a really good rotation player and fine for the Knicks. And by the way, for people who say, oh, the Knicks didn't really get anything for Melo, they got 2 players who are producing. They don't got 2 guys who are just bums. They're producing and contributed to a Knicks win. That's a good move. When you got players that are contributing, you're not going to get a player as good as Melo. So, good game by McDermott. I'm not ready to put him in a starting lineup. We don't need to do that. Things are working. See, the thing is, as a coach, you can't be fickle as a coach. You'll lose the locker room. You can't. One thing, and maybe because he also played in the NBA, is you can't say, oh, this guy had a great game, start him tomorrow. You cannot do that. What you can do, though, is you can leave the lineup alone and you can put guys in the game earlier. You can let them play more minutes to the point where it's evident that they need to start. But you don't just become fickle and switch. You will lose the locker room if you keep switching people around. Like Hernan Gomez. He may get back into the starting lineup. He may be the first guy off the bench. But it has to be gradual. You can't just sit down Kyle O'Quinn, who's playing well, who's playing good defensively. And by the way, Hornacek sat Cantor for the whole first half, which is a message to the young team. You can't do shit like that and then sit one of your defensive players in Kyle O'Quinn down to the bench. You can't do that. By the way, he's a good passer as well. It's good for the team. You can't just sit guys down that's playing hard and working hard and getting good results. You just can't do that. That's not good coaching. So people who want to see the Knicks just throw people out there, that's being emotional. That's not being smart. You know. And developing players is not throwing them to the wolves. That's not developing players. Developing players is working with them in practice, which I don't get to see, talking to them, explaining to them, putting them in situations in the games, and then when they make mistakes, taking them out, talking to them about the mistakes they made, or if they do something good, that's developing. You know, they do something good, you tell them what they did was good there. You explain situations and state, that's developing. Not just if you just let people play, what the fuck we need a coach for? So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. All right, next plus, where am I? I'm going to get to Frank, y'all. I'm going to get to Frank Ntilikina. I'm saving him for last, by the way. Just want to let you know, I'm saving him for last. All right, so, Kristaps, McDermott, O'Quinn. All right, fuck it. I'm going to just jump right into talking about Frank Ntilikina. We finally get to see Frank Ntilikina for more than 6 minutes. He played 22 minutes. He had 9 points, 5 assists, and I think 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. And everybody knows, as soon as he came in the game, he had a defensive impact. And this is exactly what I was talking about. He eventually will be the starter on the team, specifically just because of his defense. His passing is a plus. Like, he's literally, and in practice, he's probably showing that he's better than those guys already. But still, you can't just throw him out there. Give him time, let him get comfortable. He's still getting comfortable. He's going to become more aggressive, and you're going to start to see. Soon you're going to be like, Dennis Smith who? Dennis Smith who? Because there's many guards in the league like Dennis Smith. I mean, let's be real. Damian Lillard, even though Damian Lillard is a star, he doesn't play any defense. That's why that team is not really going to go far. He's not really a good defensive player. You have, there's a lot of scoring guards out here. But there's not many 6'5" defensive stalwarts at the point guard position with 7-foot wingspan. Literally. And people, by the way, I just want to put this little note out there. The Greek Freak came into the league, I think, at 6'8", 6'9", and he's 6'11". There's a chance that Frank Ntilikina is not finished growing. Just like Kristaps, I heard a little rumor that he said he grew maybe an inch or 2 more. He might be 7'4", 7'5". Ain't that some shit? Moving like that. So that's the thing. Frank Ntilikina might grow to 6'7", 6'6", 6'7". He still might be growing. He's 19, people. And he already handling the ball. And once he gets his body, I see it. He's going to be able to dominate guards. He's going to be blanketing guards. You know what you're going to start seeing throughout the year? And I saw a little bit in the Nets game. Players are going to get frustrated. They're going to do offensive fouls. They're going to be elbowing them. They're going to be trying things. Because come on, man. He got all the fundamentals. His hands are always up. He came in the game and literally, and this is what I was trying to say, he's a winning basketball player. You see, a winning basketball player doesn't have to put up big numbers to change the way the game is being played. He came in, he played D, he moved the ball, he brings the ball up, he gets the offense going, he gives it to the guy, runs around, comes back and gets the ball. That's a winning player. Players like to play with point guards who give up the ball. Trust me, I know, I was one. There was times I wouldn't even score a point. And dudes be like, yo, man, I love playing with you, man. Because I don't give a fuck. I want to win the game. I want to win the game. Let me tell you something. When you throw a bunch of pretty passes, man, people love you too. I mean, there's somebody named Magic Johnson that threw a bunch of pretty passes. He's known for passing, even though he averaged 18 throughout his career. He's known for them pretty passes he would make, them half-court passes and stuff like that. It makes the game beautiful, and it makes people want to play with you. That's why they talk about with Lonzo. Lonzo's good. And guess what? A player that likes to pass it to his teammates, Players love to play with guys like that. They run the floor harder when they know they're going to get the ball. There's different kind of point guards. And I think the mold of point guard that offensively that Ntilikina can be is the mold of Jason Kidd, Magic Johnson. Not saying, let me make this clear, I'm not saying he'll be as good as them. What I'm saying is you have two different kind of point guards. You have a point guard like Chris Paul, who literally controls the ball most of the time, and he'll make the right pass, and he's an excellent passer. Then you have point guards in the mold of Jason Kidd, who gets the ball, and you know you better run, because he'll throw it across the court to get you that ball. Magic Johnson, he will if you were running full speed, he's going to hit you. You see, and that makes, you see Kyle Quinn ran, and he hit him with a beautiful pass. Guys are going to love playing with Frank. Fucking Kristaps was giddy talking about Frank like, yo, dude. So, I'm telling you. So all the people who was judging Frank and saying Frank is going to be this kind of player and that kind of player, they all need to shut the fuck up, because ain't none of them see him play. Let's be real. I watched a lot of highlights, but it really doesn't help. And by the way, I got to give a plus to Phil Jackson. He may not know how to be a GM, but he picked Kristaps. You want to say that's luck, right? Him picking Kristaps, you want to say that's luck, right? Okay, that's luck. Him getting Hernan Gomez, yeah, that's luck too. Oh, that's just his scouts. He still has to make the selection. He got him too. Oh, Damian Dotson in the second round. That's Phil Jackson too. And last but not least, Frank Ntilikina. That's Phil Jackson too. Why? Because Phil likes big defensive guards. And when you can stop the ball at the point of attack, when you can stop a player, you can stop. Let me tell you, Frank was ruining their pick and rolls. When you could do that, when you break up a pick and roll, these teams don't have nowhere else to go. They don't have nowhere else to go. They end up delving into having to do the play over, having to reset the pick and roll, having to shot clock violation, things like that. Because that's all they do nowadays is run pick and rolls. Thumbs up to the Knicks defense as well. Plus to the Knicks defense. They were scrambling. At first, I was getting a little frustrated because my philosophy with defense is I'm not worrying about the paint as much, because as you saw, like I said, when you chase these guys, these guards, especially centers, chase them off the three-point line, they're not adept at putting the ball on the ground. They're not good at it. They're going to be awkward. A lot of these guys, a lot of NBA players, because the way the game is, you have three guys standing outside the three-point line. You have the point guard, and you have the center, pick and roll. And you hit the guys for standstill shots. These guys are not used to faking. They're not used to playing the entire game like in yesteryear. In yesteryear, you had to know how to dribble and shoot and penetrate. You had every player, most of the players had to learn how to do that. Nowadays, you have these specialists. And these specialists are not used to dribbling the ball. Run them off the deep three-point line, and they become who they are. Garbage. Just like Steve Novak got discovered. Just put a man. I remember when the Knicks had Steve Novak, he would never miss. They just put a guy next to him that would be 7 inches shorter than him. Just stand next to Steve Novak. Don't even worry about the rest of the game. And they would stand next to Steve Novak, and he could not get a shot off. He could not shoot. He couldn't do anything. A lot of these guys, you run them off the three-point line, they don't know what to do. They're not accustomed to mid-range. So don't worry. You want to get them into the mid-range, because even if they hit a shot, it's not a problem. You know, it's 2 points. And another thing, because with the three-point shot nowadays, it's not just about contesting it. It really is about not allowing teams to take them. And one minus is the Knicks are still not shooting enough three-pointers. When the Nets beat Cleveland Cavaliers, they shot 46 three-pointers. Now, I don't expect the Knicks. The Nets are trying to become the Houston Rockets East. They shot 46 three-pointers. That's the game, folks. If you don't like it, that's just how the NBA is played. You can hope for how it used to be, and you're going to fucking get blown out. But, the Knicks, and I said this, and I saw this, and I don't know how long this is going to be, but the Knicks may have the antidote for these three-point shooting teams that like to play small. This is why I personally like Kristaps at the 4. I like him playing the power forward position. Why? Because a lot of teams are going small, and they're putting 6'7" power forwards to guard Kristaps. You know, he has a 6-inch advantage, let alone his hand over his head, let alone he's jumping. Literally, he can shoot, and I'm so happy to see Kristaps just turn around and Karis LeVert or Hollis Jefferson, who's a great defender, by the way, just turn over and say, I'm going to shoot right over you. Who the fuck are you? I saw Dirk do it for years from the 4 position. Just shoot right over people. And you know another thing, too, the Knicks are doing? They killing people on the boards because teams are playing small. You see, Oklahoma City, I felt like when they had cancer and they had their thing going, I felt like that was one of their strengths. That was one of their strengths, playing big. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have good perimeter defense, you can kind of play big. And when you got a big like Kristaps, come on. I want to see him shoot more threes, but I also want to see him do what he's doing. Oh, I got a little guy on me. I'm going to shoot over this little motherfucker. Right over him. There's nothing you could do. And I used to see Kristaps do. I'm like, why is he ever fake? He should never fake. There's hardly anybody that can block his shot. But motherfuckers want to put him at the center where he's going to have guys almost his height or almost as tall as him, who's going to be more physical, where he's going to have to do a lot of dribble moves and all that shit. It's easier to play offense from the 4 when he's going to have mainly 6'8", 6'9" guys, where he could just literally, when he gets stronger, just turn around and shoot over them. Why the fuck would you want him banging it up against fucking 270-pound guys? Why would you want him doing that? Why you want Kristaps guarding somebody like, what's his name? Jokic. Or guarding somebody like Cantor or like Gortat. You know what I'm saying? Why would you want him guarding a big guy when he can literally dominate from the position he's in? It just doesn't make sense. That's like saying, you know what? Frank Ntilikina is 6'5", so eventually he should be a shooting guard. No, that's fucking stupid. He can dominate point guards because he's good enough to be one. Why not dominate every 4? And what that's going to do is a lot of these teams nowadays, they're not made up. They're not made up they don't have big power forwards. Why do you think he scored 30 on Carmelo? Carmelo doesn't have great defense, but he's bigger than him. He's going to struggle against certain players. We play Golden State. Durant's going to have to guard him. You see what I'm saying? That's why you leave him at the 4. That's just my opinion. I believe he's better there. I feel like he has a mismatch every single game at the 4. At the 5, he's going to have it tough. Trust me. He's going to get beat up. You put him at the 5 as he gets older in his career and he's not being able to move as well. Then you put him at the 5. Anyway, I digress. So anyway, I just wanted to say a few things about the Knicks win. I thought there was an end-to-end crushing, very satisfying, very, how can I put it, very sustainable. Because it was methodical. It was a methodical thrashing. I watched the game twice. You know I'm a Knicks fanatic, right? I watched the game twice because I just said, damn. They had like a 4-point lead when the third quarter started. That shit went up to 20 without no fast breaks. There was really no fast breaks. It was a rebound, bring the ball up, run a good play, and score. If you miss, Cantor get the rebound, score. Because Cantor was great in the third quarter, by the way. See, players respond to benching. So that's the funny thing. It was like the Knicks were up by 4, now they up 6. Good defense, now they up 8. 3-pointer, now they up 11. Good defense. It wasn't like how Golden State bum rushes you 18 straight. No, it was, and I like it better the way the Knicks did it. Not saying if they had the team like Golden State, come on. But what I'm saying is I like the way they slowly, methodically took that team apart. Completely manhandled and crushed them slowly. That's how I want to see them play. But they got to get better at fast breaking and easy points as well. And I think Frank is going to add to that. I think they was a little more deliberate because Jack is more of a deliberate type player anyway. But anyway, this brings us to the end of Knicks Home Court. My name is Greg Armstrong. And I will speak to y'all folks later. We have 2 games coming up, Sunday and Monday. I may not do a podcast after Sunday's game. I might just wait till Monday and just cover both of them. It might be easier that way. Hopefully we can get a win in Cleveland or have a good showing. That's all you can ask for. In any game, all you can ask for is your team to play hard and play smart. So we got Cleveland, and that's not an easy game to play Sunday, but let's hope. Hope against hope, right? All right, everybody. Enjoy. Have a good weekend. Peace.